to go on that topic right now. The many girl, and I mean many, okay? Many times that I've started over, I always thought that I had to start over with my body. I thought that once I got to my perfect ideal body, that everything else would fall into place. My life would be a fairy tale. The only reason my life was not a fairy tale is because my body was not. Okay? So, after 5 million, 100 trillion, billion times, I finally realized that the start over is not the body, it's the mind. Okay, I wasn't trying to lose weight, I was trying to lose a mindset. Period. I was trying to take the fast route. I was very aware that your outward appearance shows your inner world. So I thought if I got my outward appearance together, the inner world would just create itself. Didn't happen, okay? There was a reason my mind was saying get some physical activity in, girl. It wasn't saying because you're so damn fat. It was saying because it's good for your brain. It helps us grow. Took it the other way though. Tried to make myself feel bad in order to follow goals. Trap myself in constant fear. Fear of loneliness, fear of being a single mom and not ever finding anyone. All of those fears entrapped me and constantly just made me believe it was my body. And then after I got my body together, I was like, why do I feel the same still? Well, I got woken up. The thing about life with me is I'll go through the same thing until I finally realize I got to take a different route. And that was exactly what it was. I started to realize that there was something wrong with my patterns, the lifestyle that I was choosing, the mindset that I was following. And I had to really start evaluating myself. In 2017 is when I started documenting what I was doing when I started to get triggered or when I started to get down or feel empty or lonely or yearn for someone else. I would watch what I would do, how I would respond to that. And most of the time it was eating, stuffing my face, especially while watching TV. You know, that is just my dream escape right there. But I realized that I was giving myself short-term satisfaction, putting a Band-Aid on something that needed surgery. So I wasn't able to really break out and understand what I really had to work on when I was comfortable. I was living with my dad and I was comfortable. I knew that I had to start taking the reins on my life and really take responsibility for the things that I've done, where I am at in my life, and move forward on trying to be a better person. So I finally did. I got out of my comfort zone. I moved out on my own, tried to move in with someone else. That didn't work out. I tried that about 5 more times and it didn't work out. And then in 2021, I moved into a motel in Palm Desert, California. And I didn't have a kitchen. I had a half refrigerator and a bathroom with a bed. Little tiny closet. I really had to start over from the bottom, very bottom. And I had to love myself right there. Because if you can't love yourself right there, you can't build off of that. So I had to, and it was a fight at first. I started just spending all my money to try and give myself short-term satisfaction, so I didn't have to think about the situation that I was in and really look in the mirror. And that happened for a while. I would drink too. I just wanted to escape from my reality. But I realized that time doesn't stop. You don't get a break to just drink it away and take that time off. So I stopped and I finally started looking inward, and I realized that with all the distractions removed, not by my own accord, that I had to really take accountability for where my life was at. I had no one to blame. I had only myself, and I had only myself to work with. My first major step was getting into therapy. That part was really hard because as a veteran, mental health was really hard to even get access to. They had to approve you based on your condition, and now it's changed. Now you can, request it a little easier. I'm not sure with other people's conditions or whatnot, but when I first started, you had to have a certain condition to be able to get therapy. When I called to make an appointment, they were like 6 months to a year out. So during that time, thankfully, they had the community care option, and I was able to get set up with a civilian therapist. And that's where I started with that. So that was like my number one thing. I wasn't even aware that it was my mindset that I needed to change, and not just change like there was something wrong with me, but really like dig back down beyond that foundation and really dig up all of the crusty, dusty foundation that I had built upon and get that all out of there, and then rewire my brain from the very, very bottom. And when you're at the lowest and you love yourself, like that's the greatest love story for sure. Because you don't have anything materialistic about you, you don't have any monetary value, you don't have a car, you're walking everywhere, like you don't have any clothes, you only have a couple, you barely have any food. Like that's where you really find out if you love yourself, because you don't have anything to escape your reality with. And that plus therapy was my saving grace. It was hard. I had to kill my ego, not just kill it, but like rebirth it and then grow it in a better way. I talk about starting over. It's the reality that it's never with your body, it's with your mind. And when you're on a healthy path with your mind, your body follows. And that doesn't look the same for everyone. I used to be someone who would go to the gym to fix my body and then wonder why I still felt the same. There's a lot of people out there who do the quick fix, and so to the outside world, it looks like, damn, they have their stuff together, they're mentally stable. But in reality, they just used a bunch of steroids, or they used a bunch of things that are bad for their body to help them get to that point, and then everything else in their life is in shambles. That was me, not the steroid part, but trying everything I could to get to a certain physical look, when in reality, it was my brain. It was upstairs. It was all in my head. There are people who try to control you, who try to trap you in fear, that will tell you things like it's all in your head. To them, they think that they're like giving you the biggest insult. But to you, they're actually giving you the key to your freedom. They're releasing you from the trap.